Okay, so I'm on the Muskingum and the shallow section at JC Riverside Park. As you can tell, I've got a little bit of a cold, pneumonia, COVID, I don't know what it is. So yeah, I'm just about to ball in on this 11 meter line. Whoops. That's alright. That wasn't me, that was my chest waders. Yeah, I just thought I've caught fish in this depth. It's about 3.5 foot, maybe 4. And I'm a little bit out in the river, as you can see. Sun's behind me, so I'm facing west. Yeah, it's probably going to get hot today. Anyway, I brought a feeder rod, so I might have a little pop at that. Although I need to figure out the logistics, you know, where I'm going to put the rod rest and all that. Because on rivers, you have the rod poking up towards the heavens. I think that was a Bowie song about that, having feeder rods poking upwards. I think it's on the Changes album. It was one of the outtakes, I think. Anywho, yeah, I might be able to use, I don't know. Yeah, just sort of stick it on there, I think. Have it coming up like that. So the flow's right to left. Like I say, I'm feeling a bit peaky, so I might keep these to a minimum. But yeah, as you can see, another beautiful day. And yeah, there's remnants of a fire. And when I got here, it was like from the old Western films, you know, they were here probably 2 hours ago. Because it was still kind of smoking a little bit. I didn't light a cigar off of the fire like our man Clint did in The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. I just sort of thought it, didn't do it, because I didn't have a cigar. And I'm not Clint Eastwood. Yeah, I've got a waggler, as you can see, the regular fixed waggler. I just thought I'd give it a spin. Made up the rig the other day. Garbolino's, I don't know what gram it is, probably about 12. And yeah, to the left of that is my Daiwa ends on Pokeability rod. Pokeability Brown was a famous rod designer from the Victorian era, I believe, or Edwardian, I don't know. Anywho, let's give it a spin. Put some feed out on the waggler line and bait up with the Preston wire bait up feeders. Give that a spin. Yeah, I've got braid. First time I'll be using braid on the feeder rod, so we'll see how that goes. Beautiful. Catapulted onto this waggler line. And yeah, third cast, catfish. Very nice. So that's my second fish. I've had like a tiny little bass type of thing. It's white bass, silver bass. Okay. Yeah, hopefully I'll catch a few today. Last time I caught one fish, and that was very hard going. So yeah, I've already beaten that tally. Yeah, a bit of an upstream wind blowing, which I suppose it's helpful, yeah. rather have that than a downstream wind. Everything's kind of pretty much kept in check. And yeah, might throw the feeder out a bit later if things dry up. Like, I only had one fish on the close pole line. So I got the impression there were fry and very small fish there. So yeah, I might come onto it a bit later, which it has form for yielding a few carp close in a bit later, I think, when they just gain a bit of confidence and come into the shallow water, maybe. I don't know. We will meet again. No, we'll see. We won't meet again. Or hopefully we will. Okay, got a fish on the waggler line after some perseverance. Put an initial, I don't know, 10 to 12 hand, sausage size balls that you form with your hand, one-handed, out in the catapult. And yeah, just went on it again after it's the third time I've had a look. And yeah, it's like after it had run through to about, I don't know, 11 o'clock, maybe 10 o'clock, float disappeared. I've got it shotted down, but it's a thick tip, so I can see it quite nicely. Yeah, nice. Yeah, it's a bit deeper out there. I guess it's more like 5 or 6. I've probably got, the same in inches, 6 inches, 7 inches. On the deck, double corn. Oh, actually that was triple corn, yeah. It's a bit flat, so you can just like hook it straight through nicely and stack on the hook along the shank kind of thing with the bait. Yeah, and I'm using this Shimano 14-foot rod, which I initially purchased I was practicing, I just fancied trying to fish the slider, never done it before. This is 3 or 4 years ago in my local lake, Greenfield Lake in Lancaster, Ohio, United States. And yeah, I really enjoyed that way of fishing. Watching the guys do it in the England team on international duty and watching various videos. And I'd also heard about it when we were kids. The old Newton Abbot Fishing Association bailiff, Racker Hayes bailiff, George Best. Not the guy with the champagne and the dolly birds. Not that he didn't indulge in champagne and dolly birds at some point. My friend Tim used to talk about George and his mate Gordon, I believe, fishing the slider in the Exeter Canal Basin Marina, catching these bream. And it always appealed, just thinking, when would you do that? When would you fish the slider? So I've been doing it a bit over here, catching carp on the slider and catfish. And it's an enjoyable method, it really is, but I'm fishing the fixed waggler today, and this is my second or third decent fish, if you want to count the carp I caught. The catfish, which was only about 12 ounces or so. And this might be another catfish, I don't know. It's not massive. It's a little carp. There. It's nice. There he goes. Oh, come on. This is my third fish in as many casts on the waggler line. And there's a big patch of like, I don't know, collected leaves directly in front of me, just where I want to cast, so I had to just come a little bit closer and yeah, instant bite. Not by much, but yeah, float just aggressively disappeared, and as you can hear, fish is doing a similar thing. Just trying to slow him down. I don't know how these guys in, you know, elite competitions keep the fish within the designated zone that they're allotted in the peg that they're fishing, because they don't have much room, and there's a steward sitting behind them kind of basically monitoring. If the fish goes out of the zone, it's disqualified. Oh crap, I think it's in a snag. Oh, the inevitable parting of the ways. Yep. Keep it away from that area then. Woohoo! Okay, I don't know if you can see my float. Orange top. I'm gonna try and put some bait on it. Not too bad. At least it's going to go right to left. It's on the right line. So weird. Almost exactly the same thing happened. Put in a ball of ground bait and immediately got a bite. Just like the impact of the ground bait's causing the fish to sort of panic eat. I don't know. Gonna have to be doing some sound splicing there. See if the Aphex Twin is available. See, look for that leaf action. Right in front of me. Bloody annoying. Nowhere else. It's as if the leaves know I am here and are eager to thwart me. I can see him afloat now. Just in front of me. But just a little way out. Yeah. Oh wow, oh wow. He's the greatest angler, oh wow, oh wow, Mid-Ohio's ever seen, oh wow, oh wow. He's the greatest angler, oh wow, oh wow, Mid-Ohio's seen. The champion of carp, his cast will leave you in the dark, and he never leaves the river alone, unless it is catch and release, when he's pulling on a bream, creme de la creme. Arrogance but not conceit, as a fisherman complete, again and again evidence is seen. Oh wow, oh wow. He's the greatest angler, oh wow, oh wow. Dippa dippa chippa dippa bong to bong to bong. Ying diddle doopa doopa doom, ba dabba doodle diddle doodle diddle bonk bonk bong. A booba doopa doopa doom, ba dabba doodle diddle lompa tompa tom. Baba doop chunka boom, ba diddle doodle diddle chicka 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 bonky bonky bong. Ba doodle doop doop doom, ba dabba doodle diddle bonka bonka bong. Ba-doodle doop a dink a boom, ba dicka chicka 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 bonka bonka bong. Boo boo jab boo boo, boo 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 boo, doodle doodle doodle. Yeah. Easy, Mark. Easy, Mark. Easy. Look at those leaves right in front of me. Now they're on the pole line. It's as if they know. For beer, The Leaves Know is a harrowing account of a bag of leaves that develop malevolent psychic powers due to being left unattended in a garden shed where escaped rats from a nearby biochemistry lab find refuge and nest. Well, I don't know what they were injecting into these rats, but some kind of chemical rodent to foliage reaction obviously took place. You had a bloke from a council come and spray the shed with some sage-infused vinegar. Well, he lasted about 30 seconds, came crashing out of the shed door, white as a sheet, an uneven lump in the back of his trousers. I think he wet himself too. Well, the shed owner started being followed around the garden by these here leaves, even when there was no wind. In addition, he'd hear crunchy-sounding whispers, which would accurately describe personal events from the man's past and future, which he would come to realise. This, of course, triggers a rapid descent into terrifying psychosis. Well, I don't want to spoil it for you, but I will say Matthew showed great fortitude to carry on fishing when they leaves were skulking towards him with such menacing hostility. I detected some smoke using the olfactory systems, and I just noticed that bloody log is on fire. So I better go and put the thing out, I suppose. Interesting. Okay, so I'm just gathering some water to put the bloody fire out. Christ. Muppets. And there you go, children. That's why you should always make sure that the fire is properly extinguished. Don't have to pull any old ladies out of the inside of the log, or pull any logs from the inside of the old lady. Even more harrowing. That should do it. Muppets. It's funny, a boat just went past and I got a bite. Yeah, I went back onto the pole line. I cracked off using a big Preston thingamajig, a bait up feeder, and lost everything. And oops. Lesson to be learned. I was using a shock leader as well, but yeah, the whole thing, I think I gave it too much poke and it disappeared. Blanky here. Yeah, he's going to cast this bait up feeder and blundered the procedure, isn't he? I don't know what happened. Something got caught around something or something, and snap. The whole lot's gone careering out towards the other side of the river, probably well past the Mason-Dixon line and all that. Probably start another civil war, blooming great feeder crashing down onto somebody's shotgun shack south of the Ohio River. Anyway, he didn't have his hook attached because the process is just to introduce some preliminary bait to fish over subsequently, just like he does lobbing in those cannon-sized ground bait balls. But yeah, he was intending to fish the feed at the day, but that'll have to wait for next session because the fool didn't bring any backup paraphernalia, did he? So it'll have to be pole and waggler today only, I'm afraid, viewers. Geese are coming up on the electric guitar. Ziggy played guitar, jamming good with Weird and Bass Boat, and the spiders from Mars. We could look 'em by smiling, we could leave 'em to hang, ain't kept it all too far. But boy, could he play the carp, Ziggy really sang. Screwed in ground bait, screwed down hemp seed, like some cat from Japan. You could look 'em by smiling, you could leave 'em to hang. Come on. Idiot. Oh God. That was absolutely bloody ridiculous, boss. Come on, where's your disgorger, you fool? Fuck's sake, man. There. He's got plenty of goof in him, this boy. Yeah. Come on. And away. Okay, so that was on a 3 gram rig. Like I said, we haven't had rain for a long time. And yeah, there's no real flow to speak of, very marginally from right to left. So yeah, I can get away with using a lighter float, probably use lighter than that. But yeah, 3 gram, size 12. If I got, this is my rig. So we are dealing with I put a thicker tip on this. It's a Tubertini carbon stemmed. I'm not sure of the exact name of it, but I made the tip thicker, putting a sleeve, fluorescent sleeve over the top. And then that's, I forgot, a size 12. And then some number 8s, equally spaced, up to, yeah, I got about 1.5 foot up to a small olivet. Another decent fish on the waggler line. Don't know if I've commented on this before. There's a bloke down there in dungarees. Look at that, look at that.
"4B here. That isn't a pair of dungarees. That's a sleeveless boiler suit. I tell you that right now. And if I didn't know any better, I'd say the bloke is one of them method actors. Gonna play Huckleberry Finn in a forthcoming theatre production of The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, and is in character up bar, exploring the underlying psychological motivations of his character. In this instance, he's engaged with the dramatic potential sheer panic causes by getting his hook, line, and sinker tangled up in that tree. 'Tis wonderfully convincing.
So, yeah, playing a fish is sometimes reminiscent of dreaming. You almost want to just close your eyes and just react to the various pulls and lunges rather than just looking at the rod tip or whatever. It just, you can feel the fish obviously through the line, just putting your fingers on the spool, and you might do a better job playing fish with your eyes closed. This is a very odd-shaped fish. Oh, this is very strange. Wow. Strange dorsal. Strange body shape. It's weird. What a weird-looking fish. That's a first. Somebody on a jet ski waving. How did he look, Mom? No hands. I suppose it's one hand. Look, Mom. Gee, look, Mom, one hand. Feathering the line. Yeah, it's about 2 o'clock. Yeah, I've had about 7 carp, I think. Lost a couple. Yeah, it's been good. Good. Chiefly on the waggler line. I've had a couple. I lost one and had one on the pole line, but yeah, it's not been as good on the pole line, but they probably just want to be in that deep, slightly deeper water. So that's how the float was looking when I struck. So it was a bona fide lift bite, you might say. Very well appreciated. Just switched back onto the pole line and hooked something. Went a bit dead out on the waggler line. No indications, no nothing. And I had been continuing to feed the pole line, not excessively, but just the occasional sort of hand-sized ball every, 10-15 minutes. Yeah, it's about midday now, but 12:15 maybe. There's a bit of cloud coming over, and I'm also covered by a tree to my left. Crap. went out on the waggler line again after losing a beautiful carp in an absolutely ludicrous fashion. Completely my own fault. I'm going to blame it on having a cold.
Oh, blame it on having a cold, he says. Nah, he's all thumbs and big toes today, all over the shop, like a puffin walking across a roulette table, somewhat disoriented. He's lost that beautiful fish, so accept it and move on. Put the incident behind you and focus on trying to catch your next fish. Useful advice for any angler who's had a mishap. These incidents are often signals that change is required. At least he's had the sense to switch to the waggler line and go further out in the river, where, and I have to give him a modicum of credit here, he has been catching nicely. Quite often on the pole line, you'll catch a fish, maybe sneak a couple in quick succession, and then you'll rest the spot, let the fish regain their confidence in feeding, especially after such a gargantuan disruption has just occurred. Keep feeding it regular, every 10 to 15 minutes with the occasional golf-sized ball of ground bait and some loose-fed corn here and there. I think it shows the importance of having at least 2 lines. So he's gone out on the waggler line again, and hey presto, the fishing rod is at the discotheque once more. One day on the Muskingum, using 2 pieces of sweet corn, he's the greatest bender.
Just trying to keep it out of that snag, wherever that is. Yeah, I let the fish swim around the leg of my platform and snapped me. Ridiculous. It could have netted it if I'd stood up. Ridiculous behaviour. Anyway, another one on now. Yeah, this was off the pole line. And yeah, beautiful fish. You could tell it was bigger. And yeah, probably like around the 10-pound mark. I did get a good look at it because it was right underneath, swimming around the platform. Idiot. And I got what I deserved, which was nothing. So yeah, another fish on here. Okay, hopefully I can do a bit better. Get it over the menacing leaves. Oh, there it is. Looks a bit pale. Oh, it's a mirror carp. It's the first mirror carp I've had on from a river. Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right, mate. His eye, the left eye is really deep set. I don't know if it's not an injury. I think they said it's like 1 in 50 in the US is a mirror carp. So that's an absolute result. Alright, man. God. Beautiful. Yep, the leaves have me surrounded. Oh yeah. What Will I do? I just picked up into another fish on the waggler line. Tried a bunch of maggots, like about 8 maggots on a size 10. But yeah, not interested. Put some corn back on. Interested. So yeah, it's odd. Yeah, I don't know whether they just don't see maggots, but you know, usually you can catch anything on maggots at any time, anywhere. That's where I'm fishing. Had about, I think, 9 carp. Lost a few, very stupidly, around the, here we go, round the Colmick platform, snap. Goodbye fish.